Hello. Reiki, Oli, hello, welcome.
Great to see you on this World Happiness Week.
Yes, it's amazing, Oli, having you here on this day 4 of the World Happiness Week. Today, it's just mind-blowing. Today is a really, really special day. And we have Reiki Sin with us, a founding member of the board at the World Happiness Foundation. We have Oli, CEO, founder of Life Best, Insight, and a whole movement around kindness. And it's beautiful to be partnering with you to basically showcase and bring some hope through kindness and happiness coming together, and showing that definitely when we align and when we go deeper inside and we connect, we can make a profound change. So I'm so happy about this day.
Super excited to be here. And I have to tell you, I agree with you. You know, you had mentioned in the message to me, are we ready for some healing? And I think that that's a huge thing that the world needs right now. And I know that today, definitely, this is such a huge focus of today. It's such an important part. And when we give and when we're happy, that brings to us a tremendous amount of healing. So I feel very, very grateful to be here with both of you today.
Yes. So Reiki Sin, how are you feeling today? You are going to be kicking off the day with the science of spirituality. And we are going to get into that as soon as you are back. But Oli, why don't we frame a bit the power of kindness? Because if there is somebody who knows about that, that's you. And actually through the week, we've been talking about compassion so much.
Yeah.
We're talking about forgiveness. But today, I think that we have a heavy focus on kindness. Why kindness is so important?
It's such a great question. And the truth is, I mean, forget about even all of the science behind it. There is a tremendous amount of science behind kindness, same as it is about happiness, in terms of the fact that when we're engaging in act of kindness and an act of giving, our oxytocin levels rise, our endorphins levels, our cortisol levels, the stress hormone decreases. It actually leads to a healthier, better life. But even put that all aside and think about an act of kindness that you've engaged in, a moment where you've given to somebody. How does it make you feel? You feel absolutely incredible. And there's a reason behind that. Because in that moment of giving, in that moment of kindness, you're coming to recognize your true value and your true worth. You're being validated for the right reasons, as opposed to what society may tell us should validate us. It's not based on these fake facade numbers of how much money a person has or how many friends they have or how many followers they have, all these fake numbers. A person can have all of that, yet still feel empty inside. But when you're engaged in the act of kindness, when you're giving from your own self, you come to recognize, and you bring happiness to another person, you bring a smile to another person's face, you come to recognize, wow, I didn't have to be the fastest or the smartest or the wealthiest. I only had to be me to make a difference and use the tools that were given to me in my toolbox, in my suitcase. When I came into this world, I always say we each came into this world with a suitcase, with the skills, the resources, the talents that we need, and even the struggles and the hardships that we need to help us get to our final destination, to help us bring into the world what we and only we were meant to bring into the world. And so that is the power of kindness, because what it does above everything, it empowers us to recognize our value, that the person looking back at us in the mirror is worth betting on. And to me, this is a huge thing, because I believe that so many of the different social issues that are going on in today's world, where do they stem from? Where do they come from? Where do they exist? If we keep asking and digging, why? We come to find that it stems from a lack of self-value and self-worth. People not realizing that who they are matters, that they make a difference, that you don't always have to look to be the other guy. You have to just simply look to be yourself. And that's not always an easy thing to do. But when we give, when we're engaged in active giving, it heals us. But we have to remember, I think, and this is very much connected to happiness, that it really all begins with us. It's very, I believe that as human beings, giving and kindness is a very natural thing. It's embedded into our DNA. But oftentimes we also forget to give to ourselves. And being able to love ourselves, be able to value ourselves is extremely important, because if we're not afloat, if we don't stay afloat, then how can we possibly lift others up? But when we're strong and we also are giving back to ourselves and we truly love ourselves, we're able to help others also stay afloat, even amidst all of the hardships that life throws our way. And so it makes sense, you know, kindness, healing, happiness. When we give, we do heal, but we have to remember that we also have to give to ourselves, to also look at ourselves in the mirror and love the person staring back at us, irregardless of the mistakes that person made. We are not our mistakes. We have the ability to overcome. And that to me is really the essence and the core of why kindness is so important.
Wow. How wise and how important it is to connect the dots. And this is what we are trying to do with the World Happiness Foundation and with the World Happiness Fest. I think that for us, the concept of fundamental peace is really rooted on freedom, consciousness, and happiness. But happiness is to share.
Yes.
And what you say, how can you share something that you don't have?
Exactly.
So in order to have it, you have to practice many of the things. And one of the key practices is the practice of giving and the practice of kindness. So this is so beautiful. So how are you kind to yourself, Oli?
So this is a very good question. And I find that a lot of people that are givers, a lot of people that really have it within them to give, oftentimes forget to give to themselves. I myself have fallen into that category, and it's something I have to work on. So some of the things that I do, that I practice, and I've come so far, is being able to, even if you section off, whether if you, for example, don't give any time to yourself. So I'm saying to start small. You always have to start small, because if you try to start too much, you end up doing nothing. So simply putting aside specific time for yourself every week for something that is for you. Now, really, it should be every day. Really, it should be every day. That even if you section off a small time, it could be 15 minutes. It could be 15 minutes. That's it. That is something that is yours and yours alone. It re-energizes us. It heals us. It gives back to us. So, for example, something that I was always doing, I had to stop during COVID, but hopefully now it's going to come back. Every Tuesday night was basketball night. Something for myself. Every Tuesday night, I would go and I would play basketball in part of a league. And this was very, very, in a sense, holy time for me, very special for me. Meaning, even if there was a meeting, somebody wanted to schedule, no, this is a section that's for me. It's extremely important to do that. Every day I started now I go for a walk, to be just in nature every day. Sure, it's a short walk, but I can't tell you how much it's given back to me. You know, I used to be very much a workaholic, because my work doesn't feel like work. I love it, and it brings me a tremendous amount of joy. But what I realize is that if we're going to be depleted, then the things that we're giving aren't coming from a place of abundance. They're not going to come from a place of strength. They're going to come from a place of weakness. So we have to be very careful. So even if we segment a few minutes in our day to do something that's for you, whether it's a walk, whether it's a meditation, whether it's a spiritual practice, whatever it might be, that is key, because it will recharge you. And now that you're recharged, when you're going to head out into the world, not only you're going to be able to be more productive, but when you're engaging with people, that energy that you feel so lifted with, so filled with, that energy is going to pass over to others, because energy doesn't stay within us. It gets passed. And so when we're living in a positive energy, or very, very healing energy, we give that energy over to others. And simply doing that, the small engagements we have of just seeing people, smiling at people, saying hello, we actually brighten their day. That in itself is kindness, because kindness isn't something you have to, do. It's something that you live. It's not, oh yeah, I do kindness, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 to 5. This doesn't work this way. It's kindness. It doesn't mean charity work. Charity work is fantastic. But kindness is the way in which we see people. And it very much begins in the way in which we see ourselves.
Amazing. So when I hear you, I hear energy, connection, charging, I connect this very much to the science of spirituality.
Mm.
Actually, Regicine is gonna start today, and I love the way Regicine is kindness himself. But something very interesting is that he's the CEO of a big company, but at the same time, he's all into the happiness, kindness, compassion space. So, Regicine, I would love to know where do you drive, and where is your kindness coming from?
Thank you, Luis. I think I was having some problems logging in, but now I am inside. It was wonderful hearing Orly, or what I heard, parts of what she was saying. How do you get your energy, Orly? You seem to be displaying a fair amount of energy, and it's passing off on all of us.
The truth is, I have to tell you, and it's funny because you're going to be talking about spirituality, but spirituality happens to be a very, very big part of my life. I would say probably one of the biggest parts of my life. I'm very, very, private about my own practices, but because I believe everybody has their own practice, everybody has their own pathway to get to where they need to get to. But I have to say, it definitely is a very, very big part of me. And I think that a lot of my energy and a lot of the sense and the feeling of passion and purpose that I've had ever since I was a little kid stemmed from that and stemmed from that connection. So, yeah.
Wonderful. In answer to your question, Luis, spirituality is about connection. And in some form or the other, we are all connected together. So while we can connect to a bigger power, whatever that is, some people call it God, but some people call it universe. But the more you connect with that bigger power, and then you connect with everyone, you go beyond your ego, and life has a greater meaning and fulfillment. That is what spirituality is. It can be beyond religiosity. It can be sometimes inside you. Religion is, of course, one size fits all, and spirituality is probably customized to myself, as I customize it to myself.
Fantastic. So basically, we are going to start the day with Regicine. He's going to be talking about the science of spirituality in action. And later, right after Reggie, we keep going with Manas Mandal and Samdu Chetri. And you all three are part of the IT Kapoor Reggie Happiness Center. Can you tell us a bit about Manas Mandal and Samdu? How are we going to frame this first segment of the day?
You're asking me to tell you about that?
Yes, just briefly about Manas and Samdu.
Oh, Manas Mandal is a neuropsychiatrist. He's a great guy. He seems to know everything about everything, and now his passion is spirituality. And you will see how he will talk about dreams and spirituality. Samdu is a Bhutanese monk. He lives in heaven, and he communicates from heaven, I think. And he will also have some great things to tell us.
Fantastic. So it's a full day. I'm gonna be sitting here with my heart open, because it's gonna be just spectacular. And I think today is very symbolic, because we focused the first day on happiness at work. It was very tangible. What can we do to bring good to the world from work? The second day was health, and we know that fourth wave, fifth wave, sixth wave of COVID and pandemic is going to be having a huge impact on our mental health. So we tackled that. Yesterday, the third day, was all focused on education and bringing the techniques and the tools for our teachers and our families to move to the next level. And today is really focused about moving from self to all. Then tomorrow we're moving into technology. Technology is the through line that now is connecting all of us. We can have the energy level, and now we have a technology level that is bringing all us together. And then the last day will be, how do we bring all this together, to make the right policies, to bring a policy making, a governance to the world. So, but today is right in the middle. Today is Poetry Day. So yesterday was Happiness Day, today is poetry, and we have some poets with us today Richard Rad and Muhammad from two different spaces, one from Abu Dhabi, the other one from Scotland. And they are going to be framing as well a lot of the conversation. So it's a super exciting day, but Oli, super
I have to tell you, I need to tell you why it's so special that we're on the fourth day. Because you know what the number 4, they say, represents? 4 represents transformation. So it makes sense that this is also coming in the middle. And in a sense, this is a transformative kind of day, taking us to the next section. So I really believe that we're in for a very special treat today. And I'm really looking forward to all of the speakers.
Wonderful. Orly, I just want to validate what you said. So we are celebrating the Happiness Week, and now it will be happiness with a meaning. So a little deeper happiness, I guess.
100%. 100%.
Okay, so let's go and deep dive right in, and we start with Reiki Zen. So let's talk about the science of spirituality in action.